50,000 plus in Montreal. Eastern
Shea Emry has made his mark in the CFL.
Shea Emry with the pursuit from the backside, pops the ball loose.
Shea Emry strips Martel.
Shea Emry has made a name for himself this season. He's one of the best middle linebackers in the Canadian Football League.
Already a two-time Grey Cup champ, it seemed Shea Emry was destined for athletic success.
When he first came out, as you say, when he was little, baby, brand new baby, he had this physique that was quite different. When I say quite different, even the doctors held him up and said, whoa, what's with the calves and what's the muscle?
First thing that struck me was just how athletic he was.
I remember natural athleticism, enthusiasm and coachability. Huge calves.
His whole outlook on enjoying the sport, it didn't matter what the sport was. He had the natural ability to be successful in it.
His raw athleticism transitioned to the football field, where Shea followed in family tradition by attending Vancouver College High School.
Well, when I was growing up, I always knew that I wanted to go to Vancouver College just because my dad coached football here.
I coached at Vancouver College as a head football coach there. We have family friends who, of course, attended at Vancouver College.
I'm very fortunate to have gone to a school which puts you in this program that hand feeds you all the way until you're a senior and in grade 12.
At Vancouver College, Shea found his calling. Football became his passion.
I would say he had special desire, he had special will, and cared a lot about winning.
Just physically, his skills were fairly advanced, and he was just a real confident, competitive kid. You know, when grade 10s get called up to play with a provincial championship contending team, you know, usually you get a little bit nervous, but Shea's just always been a really, really confident kid, just both in his personality and in his ability, so he didn't have any problem with the physical side of the game.
Shea was probably one of the most dominant guys I played with at any level. I mean, whether it was with his legs or his arm, he pretty much could take the game over at any point.
He showed signs of greatness as a youngster and then steady improvement and played great, when I think that other coaches would say that also, that he became truly a star.
Shea's dedication and abilities paid off, dominating BC high school football and sparking interest from the NCAA. It was time to make a decision.
Good morning, everyone. I'm very proud and excited to announce that I will be attending Eastern Washington University in Cheney, Washington.
He came away with interest from a few schools, but I think ultimately at that point in his life, Eastern was the best choice for him, instead of waiting around to try to see if there was other schools in the mix.
So it came down to the point where, you know, who's going to take you and where you're going to have a good time and where you're going to be able to play. And I was able to do that at Eastern Washington.
Shea traveled to Cheney, Washington, where the once perennial all-star quarterback transitioned to the defensive side of the ball.
My first initial feeling when I went down there was, get me the hell out of here. I didn't know anything about tackling or defense, but I learned through, I guess it's called baptism under fire.
One of the first things you have to deal with is maybe a little bit of loss, because playing quarterback is a prestigious thing, and you lose that when you get moved to the defensive side of the ball. So your ego might get in the way. Now his didn't. He was excited about the opportunity to play a new position.
And I think it also speaks to his athleticism. And I don't think enough can be said about that, to be able to switch at a Division I school with some of the best players in the country and compete with them after not playing that position.
So he took his quarterback skills, incorporated them on the defensive side of the ball, but just having to be that physical all the time, that's probably the biggest challenge.
Though succeeding on the field, the distance away from home took its toll on the Richmond, BC native. To the surprise of many, Shea returned home.
I experienced a severe case of depression, and I think I was a little bit out of my element.
I was concerned that he would be maybe feeling some shame or embarrassment.
Coming back home was difficult in the fact that, oh, aren't you down in Eastern Washington? No, I came back. Why? And
Surprised, because I knew he was doing well. Usually players who go play NCAA Division I football that are getting to play, and he was, don't want to come back because it is a higher level of play. And
I didn't know that he was homesick throughout that time, but when he told me, it was kind of a little bit of a shock.
I wasn't sure that I was going to be happy at home. I just knew I wasn't going to be happy where I was.
Arriving home, Shea attended the University of British Columbia. Setting a team high in tackles, CFL scouts took notice.
There was a lot of talk about me possibly being the top linebacker in the draft, and it was exciting. I didn't know where I was going to go, if I was going to get drafted at all. And when they called my name 7th overall by the Montreal Alouettes, I was just like, Montreal, and everyone was just like, yes. And
Go Owls!
Yeah, it was very exciting.
It was really exciting.
Of the teams in the CFL that we'd like to see or potentially see Shea be drafted by, the Owls was, the Alouettes are right there on top.
Now in his 4th season with the Alouettes, Shea is an established defensive force in the CFL.
I watched quite a few Montreal games, and that's when I realized, I knew he was good, but that's when it really hit me how important a part of these Grey Cup championships that he was, and that he had earned these and fell into a good situation for sure, but also made it a better situation by himself being there.
Now the next thing that's evolving is his leadership. And I think when you talk to players from the Alouettes, especially on the defensive side of the ball, that's what they talk about, how he's evolving as a leader.
I described him once as a total package. He had it all. He had the smarts, he had the explosiveness, he had that power and strength and lateral movement. He just stood out. He really stood out.
I'm so grateful for the fact that organization has taken me under their wing and pushed me to where I've come today.
Emry is one of those ratio busters, playing a position well and one normally reserved for import. Finished second on the team in tackles with 52. In his 2 years as a starter, Emry has won Grey Cup titles both years.